Welcome to Canada, friends. Here we stop and hear from best friends Logan and Zoe from Honestly, a podcast. Their relationship is 10 years of laughs, phases like loving One Direction, but I do have to wonder, does that phase ever have to end? I love them. And Zoe and Logan have their own language, so it's fascinating to listen to them talk and banter back and forth off each other. It's like they have their own rhythm and system, and it's quite amazing to see. They're a lot of fun, and you got to hear all about their friendship. So enjoy this recording, and then be sure to give their podcast a listen.
Hi! It's Zoe and Logan from Honestly, a podcast.
I'm Zoe.
And I'm Logan.
That's different for us. We said our own names.
What a fun intro. We are here to answer some questions about friendship. Because some of you may not know, but Zoe and I are friends.
I would say acquaintances at best.
Ouch.
Just kidding.
I am hurt and shocked.
I am blatantly lying.
Yes, Zoe and I are two friends who have a podcast together.
Look at us, potting away.
Friendship is magic.
It is. Insert My Little Pony theme song. We're bronies
Bronies, stay away.
Bronies.
This is not for you.
The epitome of friendship, bronies.
They love friendship. And we also love friendship.
Boy, do we ever.
Which is why...
it was too long.
Too long. That's okay. We're gonna persevere.
Thank you for supporting me.
We're so happy to be a part of this. If there's one thing Zoe and I love, it's talking about our friendship.
And just ourselves.
And ourselves
in
general.
Hence the podcast.
It's what we do. We love the sounds of our voices.
But also,
we hate them.
For good reason.
But hopefully you like them, because we're going to be around for a while answering some questions about our friendship.
Yay, friendship.
So the first one we've kind of already answered, but it is, who are you and your podcast? We're Zoe and Logan.
Who are you? Deeper Logan.
Who
are you?
I mean, who am I? Who is anyone?
That's a good question. Delete. End recording. We're gonna go get introspective.
Let's just take a minute to just really reflect inwards on
candles.
Ourselves. Do some deep breathing. Just really center ourselves. Yes. Nailed it. Do some yoga poses.
Yes.
We're Zoe and Logan, and we have a podcast called Honestly, where we talk about everything.
And nothing.
All
at once. It's really astounding.
You know, we just decided that we would take the conversations that we had normally and record them.
And instead of yelling directly at each other, we're like, let's maybe yell at other people.
Yes. Let's yell into a microphone so it can go into somebody's ears.
Their ear holes are waiting.
Yes.
For our scream.
Why he screamed.
Why he screamed. Because he's a podcaster.
But who are you, Zoe?
I'm 23. I'm gonna talk like I'm on a dating show. Contestant number 1. I'm 23 from Toronto. I'm a social work graduate. And I'm just living my life.
I think that's all we're ever doing.
We're just living our best lives.
We're trying.
We enjoy Vine compilations.
I enjoy Vine compilations, long walks on the beach.
What about you, Logan?
I'm Logan. I'm also 23. Zoe and I are the same age. That'll come into play later when we tell you about how we met.
Oh boy.
Just a little teaser for later. I'm 23. I'm also from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I don't know why I felt the need to say the whole thing.
Canada.
I am a university graduate. I'm not using my degree at all in the job that I'm currently in.
Same.
So that's cool. Not gonna say it was a waste of time and money, but also
not saying it.
Not saying that.
There you
go. Yes, I enjoy lots of pop culture things. I like to eat a lot.
Same.
Same. And I enjoy giving my opinions to people who didn't ask for them via my podcast.
That's really what we are here for. Why did we start the podcast?
I think you and I had talked about doing something for a while. We initially talked about doing a YouTube channel. Yeah. That dates back to like 2013.
We don't have the faces for YouTube.
We also don't have the voices for a podcast, but...
Or the money for either of them.
Yes. So we initially wanted to do a YouTube channel, and I don't even know, like, what we thought we were gonna do on that.
I really don't know.
Whatever was, like, on vogue at the time.
Because considering every time we podcast, it's kind of just, let's sit on these floor cushions and just talk about whatever's in the news or whatever's going on.
Yeah.
How would that translate into not a podcast?
Yeah, I think this is really the best medium for us.
We're doing what we can.
Yeah, so I don't know, our idea to do something collectively as a friendship duo just sprouted into, hey, let's do a podcast, because I think we were both at a point where we were both listening to a lot of podcasts, and we're like, we also have voices.
And to, like, start one, it doesn't require all that much.
Yeah, I mean, like, we got, like, a relatively inexpensive microphone to start. Well, actually, the first episode we recorded was on Zoe's laptop. Like, we used the speaker on that, or, like, the microphone on that.
My laptop, which was an actual piece of garbage.
The sound quality was so terrible, and then after the first couple of episodes, we actually, like, upgraded to, like, a really inexpensive microphone. And that just seemed like
Amazon.
worlds better. Shout out to Amazon. Yeah, but I think, like, generally speaking, a podcast, like, you don't have to be super high brow with everything.
Yeah. And we're like, this is something we can try out, and then if it doesn't work, we never have to come back to it ever again.
Exactly.
But it was fun, and we liked it, and here we are. I'm just having, like, war flashbacks to the first recording we ever did.
It was so bad.
We couldn't find a way to, like, get the sound to not crackle. So we were under this thick quilt, just, like, over our heads, huddled around a laptop, and we didn't know how to just, like, speak into a microphone because we were not used to that whatsoever.
It was so awkward.
It was like, stop, start. Oh my god, it's only 5 minutes. How do we make it more than 5 minutes?
The thing that makes me laugh so much looking back is because it was a struggle for our first few episodes for us to hit, like, the 20-minute mark, and now we talk for, like, an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, really?
They're like, oh, it's almost 2 hours. Cool.
Amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, and the first recording that we did, it didn't save, and so we had to re-record our first episode, and so it was just, like, Zoe and I, like, recycling the same jokes
that we had already made.
We had already said about 18 times, because everything we had to record multiple times, because we were like, that didn't sound good. Let's try again.
And, like, the first recording that we did of each of the first tries of that we did, it was, like, the joke was funny.
Yeah.
Because it was just, like, the top of our head, like, we just said something.
Off the cuff.
It was just witty. And then, by the end, it was like, you're not funny. Get off the stage. I'm going to throw tomatoes at myself.
It's like, I would say something, but, like, my face would be just completely dead.
Head in hands.
I was like, I've said this 12 times, but yeah, let's say it again, because it's so funny.
We're comedians.
Yeah.
That's also what you need to know about us.
I think we've come a long way, though.
I do. Just even time-wise, you can see just the struggle for 20 minutes.
Yeah. We've gotten better.
I think so, and I think it's more natural sounding now.
Yes.
The sound quality is definitely better, thanks to our tiny son.
Yes. We are now on our second microphone.
Wow.
Ballers. Coming up in the world. And we love our tiny son.
We do. Little BB-8.
So, should we tell the people how we met?
We should.
Okay, so Zoe and I have known each other for going on a long time. Almost 10 years.
Going on a long time.
I, like, looked at the date and I was, like, immediately forgot how to do math. No, in September we'll have known each other for 10 years, which is a decade.
Oh, that's crazy.
Which is a long time. We had grade 9 homeroom together in high school.
Gym, everyone.
Gym, first period. Nothing like gym to start your day.
No.
And we basically just, like, didn't talk to each other for the first few weeks of school, and then we went on this, like, grade 9 retreat where everybody, like, gets to know each other, and there's, like, team building and icebreakers, and it's, like, a goddamn nightmare.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, just, like, on the last day of that, like, again, didn't talk throughout that entire event. It was, like, a 3-day thing. On the last day, I'm just, like, walking to the bus, and Zoe just, like, sidles up beside me and just starts talking
I'm, like, wheeling my suitcase on the gravel, and it's, like, not one of those that, like, backwards rolls and sideways rolls and forward. It's just, like, just a forward rolling.
This was 2008. Bag. We did not have the technology.
We did not. We were not advanced.
For 360
so
wheels.
I was, like, shaking up the gravel, pulling my little suitcase and holding my Nightmare Before Christmas bag.
Yeah.
Did we mention what year it was?
It was 2008.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes.
Some never end.
That's true. But yeah, you just started talking to me, and I wish I could remember, like, what you said to start the conversation.
I feel like it was like I was picking you up, and I was like, so!
You come here often?
Like, it was just like, well, we're walking beside each other, so I should say something to not be a weirdo.
Yeah, but thank God that you did say something, because it spurred a friendship that's now lasted nearly a decade.
That's so... I don't, like... We didn't speak in our homeroom.
No.
So that was, like, full, like, school time. Did not speak. We get to the getaway. We don't speak the whole time, despite our rooms being directly across
the hall from each other, yeah. No, we did not want to talk to each other. No. It's not like I had anything against you.
I think you did.
I was just so shy and introverted. And
I was intimidated by your gold lame headband.
Okay, honestly, I know. It's not easy being that cool.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just was so scared to talk to anyone, and I was like, I am not built for this.
It was actually a nightmare.
Not an icebreaker kind of gal.
And it was just a whole retreat of icebreakers that I was not prepared for.
Truly a nightmare.
And also, our teacher had seniority, so we got, like, the nice cabins.
Yes.
But...
quote-unquote nice.
But my room had, like, I was sharing with 2 other people, and there was 2 sets of bunk beds, and the bottom one had, like, full bedding. Yeah. Both of them had full bedding, and the top one was just all plastic. Which one did I get stuck with? All plastic.
Girl, me too.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's what brought us together?
Our shared plastic beds. Yeah, I think for whatever reason, it was just, like, the bottom bunks were made up, and then, like, the top bunks, they were just like, no, you just get the plastic covering on your mattress.
How dare you?
So I remember, like, I had my sleeping bag with me, so I was sleeping in that, and I had a pillow, but then every time I would roll over, it was just, like, the sound of plastic crinkling, and I was like, this is terrible.
I remember... not speaking to you, looking across and seeing you and your headband, and the 2, like, was it 1 person or 2 people you were roomed with?
I was with 2 people.
Okay.
I was with 2 of the quietest
That's what
people.
I was saying, like, it was like a room across, it was just, everyone was silent, and I was like, cool.
It was, okay, so there's this girl that I kind of, like, became friends with, like, right at the beginning of grade 9, because we had all of our classes together, and she was so quiet. Like, I was shy, but she just, like, was silent. Like, it was, like, pulling teeth trying to talk to her. And so we kind of, like, formed a bit of a bond just because we had all these classes together and we're new to high school. And so she was in our homeroom. And when it came time to, like, pair off for rooms, because they just, like, let us pick our own rooms, which is, like, really intimidating. Her and I went together because I was like, you're the only person that I know and have kind of talked to. And then there was another girl who was equally as painfully shy and quiet and awkward that ended up in our room. So I was like, well, I really don't think I'm going to make any more friends while I'm here because I'm just with 2 people who won't talk. So.
And then along came me. Another equally shy person making weird, anxious,
I don't know,
small talk on the way to a bus.
That was like a bold move. Like, you just came up and talked to me.
I just knew.
You, like, got the vibe from me. You're like, this is it. This could be
We're going to have a podcast together.
Oh my god.
Even though I have no idea what a podcast is at this point in time.
Could you imagine going back and telling our 14-year-old selves just, like, the saga of our friendship?
No.
That would be... They'd be so mind blown.
You're like, who? I don't know her.
Oh my god.
I also distinctly remember getting back, and now we're friends because we spoke on the way to the bus. That's how friendships work.
Did we just become best friends?
Yes, we did. I distinctly remember having a picture that you drew me in my locker of stick figure meme and
Yes.
stick figure Jasper color.
Yeah.
Wow.
Between the two of us, there were so many weird drawings that we would give each other. There's like little like robots, little stick figures, a big old mess.
Oh no.
But yeah, Zoe and I went to high school together. We were there all 4 years and became best friends.
The best of buds.
And then we went our separate ways for university, but remained friends.
Yes.
And now we're both back in the city doing a podcast together, trying to navigate the world of an early 20-something.
Quote-unquote adulthood.
Yeah, put some giant quotes around that.
I was... In a recent episode of ours, we talked about a picture of us.
Oh, God.
That was very embarrassing and very Tumblr-era pictures.
Yeah.
And I went back and I tried to find it just to have and to hold. And I just found all of the things that we would, like, reblog from each other on Tumblr, and that really cemented our friendship.
It did.
It's like James Franco.
Yikes.
Glee, specifically Puck.
Yikes.
Just a lot of James Franco and Seth Rogen. For a very, very long time, Logan's name in my phone was Saul Silver.
And her name in my phone was Dale Denton. It's a Pineapple Express reference if you're not up to speed on a movie that came out in 2007. Our friendship, like, really, like, came of age, like, on Tumblr.
Yeah, it did.
It was, and just so many, like, weird early memes. It was a lot. We also had the pleasure, if you can call it that, of going through our One Direction phase together.
Oh, God.
Which, boy, if that didn't bring us together as friends, I don't know what did.
I do not know.
Because I've said this to Zoe before, if only one of us had been into One Direction, I don't think we would have stayed friends.
I don't think so either.
Because, like, that is an addiction.
That was, like, such a major... It sounds completely insane to people who have never been involved in any kind of, like...
and I don't understand
fandom
that.
or anything like that.
I don't understand that.
But it took up literally so much of our lives
Yes.
that I don't think it would have.
It was all consuming. It was all we would talk about, pretty much.
No, because, like, even when we were not in the same place, like, when you were off in Guelph and I was here, what did we talk about all the time? Just constantly on Facebook sending Tumblr links from random One Direction related news.
Oh my God.
Or, like, when you would come back to visit, it would be for, like, oh, we're getting together to watch the tour DVDs with, like, the scholars. And,
oh my God, shout out. It was all encompassing. It just, like, took up so much of our time, and that was another thing that really, like, solidified our friendship, was going through all of that together, because, boy, being in the One Direction fandom was a roller coaster of emotions.
Really was. My goodness. Yeah, no, I never really thought of that, but once you say it, it's like, yeah, like, if one of us was not involved, it would have been completely, like, okay.
And it's just kind
of... Like, I don't think we wouldn't have been friends at all, but I don't think... Oh, Logan's like, honey, I want nothing to do with you.
Just imagine how obsessed we were with One Direction, and just imagine being a person who, like, was not involved.
I can't imagine that.
Right?
That's how involved we were.
Oh, God. And, like, the thing is with One Direction, like, we discovered them, like, separately. Like, we did not discover them at the same time. I distinctly remember being in another friend of mine's house. We were in her kitchen, and she's like, LOL, let me show you this music video. It's so funny, because it's, like, so bad. And she puts on the Gotta Be You video, and I was like, LOL, that's like, hilarious.
It sucks.
This is trash. And then she also showed me the video for What Makes You Beautiful, and I was like, this is so stupid. And then afterwards I was like, low-key a banger, though.
Monzon showed it to me, too. It's like the same thing. She was here, she's like, oh my God, I was watching the British X Factor. I have to show you these boys. And I was like, okay. She showed me and I was like, yeah, no, it's a no for me. And then I remember being at Costco and seeing the CD and being like, but it was good though. Buying it, listening to it, slowly becoming obsessed.
Yeah.
And then having the world's sketchiest I'm giving you this CD at school, Logan, but we're gonna make it look the most like a drug deal we possibly
literally
can.
Looked like we were dealing drugs. Like, I was buying drugs from Zoe. We were in the hallway of our high school, and she
sitting down
by our lockers. She pulls out the One Direction CD from her bag, like
both
cloaking
both of our bags are in our laps.
Yeah, we're like hiding it from the world, and she just like passes it to me real quick, and I like grab it and stuff it in my bag.
And then we put our bags down, and we're like,
we were so like ashamed.
And now it's like, whatever.
Oh, now I have no shame when it comes to One Direction. I'm just like, yes,
I was there,
loud and proud.
I'm gonna start singing Beyonce.
I feel like that CD exchange is one of like the funniest things that has happened in our friendship.
I think so too.
Although there's been a lot, so it's really hard to narrow it down.
We were talking about this, trying to like figure out which stories would be good ones to talk about.
Yeah, and
there's literally so many that I couldn't think of one.
I know.
Like, I was like, okay, so there is that.
And I feel like also, some of them are so niche that, like, they're hilarious to us, and then other people will be like, literally, why is that funny?
No one else.
Like, why is sitting in your basement watching Bar Rescue hilarious? Because it is.
That's a friendship activity that we constantly do, is we find a bad TV show that's excellent because of how bad it is.
Yeah.
And just watch it and just drag it entirely, and I feel like that's a bonding experience.
It is.
That's what we do.
You know? It's how we bond.
At least once a week.
Yes.
For podcasting now, but before it was just like, Logan, come here, we're going to watch some bad reality television.
And we did. And it's glorious.
It is. Or we watch Drag Race, which is not terrible.
Drag Race is the world's greatest show.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, truly fantastic. That's what we do, though. We either go out and eat large quantities of sushi to the point that we feel like we are going to die.
Oh my god, Claire's. That's a good story.
Oh my god, okay. There was one time where Zoe and I had gone out for all-you-can-eat sushi.
This is a place we go very often.
We're like regulars. We should have like our pictures up on the wall.
I think so.
For like...
They should sponsor us.
People of the month. We spent so much money there. We went all you can eat. We ate all we could eat.
And probably more.
And more.
Than we could.
Like, we cleaned them out. And we had to then get to the subway to go back home. And we're, like, walking. And both of us just feel so sick. And we're like, oh, this is not good. Like, we're, like, shuffling along. I'm breathing so heavily.
We're walking at a pace that is slower than I don't even know what kind of pace we were walking. It was like we were
95 years old.
Or we were just learning how to walk, and we were like, okay.
Even babies walk faster than us at that point.
I think so.
We were, like, shuffling our way through. We were kind of, like, walking. We had to kind of, like, walk through the mall. It's a long story. We're walking through. I'm... like, can't breathe because I'm so full, and I feel like I'm going to throw up.
When you eat too much, too fast, and you're then move, and it just cramps on all possible sides of your body, that's what was happening. So
we're walking through the mall, and we're both like, we have to stop. Like, walking is physically painful at this point. So the closest store was Claire's. You all know Claire's, right? The lovely store that
preteens
we were obsessed with when we were 12. And so we just, at this point, we're like, this was like a year and a half ago, we're like 21, 22 years old. We're just like,
quick pit stop at Claire's.
We just like saunter into Claire's. I'm like standing in a corner, like,
we're by
heavy
this
breathing.
Corner where the phone cases are. And we're both kind of, like, hunched, like, hands on knees, just, like, breathing, because that's how much food we ate.
Yeah.
That's not normal.
It was the worst.
But friendship is
magic.
not judging each other when you eat copious amounts of sushi and just food in general.
Yeah. So that was really delightful. Another, I think, defining friendship story for us. This happened a couple summers ago. We were at a party at one of our friends' houses. Yeah. And Zoe and I were actually getting ready to leave. We were on our way out. Yeah. We had come, made an appearance, blessed everyone there.
We were like, hair flip.
We're like, thank you, everyone. We gotta get going. So we're on the way out. We're walking through the house to get to the front door. And for whatever reason, we just start, like, bantering, if you will.
I don't even know what it, like,
about Cool Ranch Doritos.
Doritos. That's it.
We're just having some sort of nonsensical conversation about Cool
Witty
Ranch
banter.
Doritos. The Archbishop of Banterbury.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, this guy, who I have never seen before in my life.
It was like a group of guys had come in from outside, and it was like 3 of them.
Yeah.
And 2 of them had left, but this guy was just like hanging around to like hear the rest of our conversation.
Yeah, like he wanted to hear our Dorito like commentary. So we're just like talking. He's just like looking at us like so enthralled in what we're saying.
He's just like so happy.
And he's just like, oh my god, you guys are so cute. You're so funny. You're like peanut butter and jelly.
You're just like the best friends. Like the best of friends.
He had observed us for 30 seconds and completely nailed down our entire friendship.
It was so good.
The best part about it, though, was the next day I texted my friend who had hosted the party and I was like, oh my god, like, thanks for last night. By the way, who was that guy that showed up? As Zoe and I were leaving, he was hilarious. And she goes, I have no idea who that was. So now Zoe and I just think he was like a figment of our imagination.
It was a spirit coming to tell us we should podcast. He's
oh my god.
You're so funny. You're like peanut butter and jelly.
That's what the podcast should have been called.
Like peanut butter and jelly. We're changing it now.
Oh my god. Let's rebrand.
But it was so good. And it was not like, oh, this guy is just really drunk, which he was.
He definitely was, but he was so sincere.
Like, his face. He was just like, oh, my goodness.
Like, I have never, like, he looked so delighted to be in our
presence. By
presence.
our friendship.
I have never seen someone look so genuine before.
No, or delighted to see us together.
True. So, a couple, like last summer, we were at a party also hosted by the same person, and if you don't listen to our podcast, which is honestly, you might not know that Zoe and I speak in a series of phrases and words that we just cycle through and repeat constantly.
And they have different meanings depending on the tone at which you say them.
With like a certain inflection, it can be good or bad.
Yeah.
So we're at this party, Zoe and I are talking, and it sounds something like this. No, like, for real though.
But same.
No, but honestly.
Like, no, me.
No, but honestly, like, me.
Same.
Like, no, honestly.
No, like, truly?
Truly.
It was me.
No. So, I'm sorry, like, if that was completely horrible to listen to. Get used to it.
That's just the way we speak.
That's our podcast. But we're just, like, having this conversation that sounds like nothing because we're just saying the same things over and over again.
But somehow we know exactly what we're talking about.
It's like we have our own, like, dialect and we can communicate with each other.
But a series of nods and eye rolls.
Yes. But across the table from us, there was this girl that was at the party, and she was just... first of all, she was cross-stitching. Don't ask. It's just like a house party. She's cross-stitching. Cool. She's just, like, looking at us with such intensity and, like, fascination.
Yeah.
It was like she was, like, a sociologist or, like, an anthropologist.
She was.
Just, like, inspecting a population.
Like, we were talking about this before, but it was like she was cross-stitching, like, her field notes about, like, this weird group of people she met in the wilderness.
It's, like, interesting. They communicate with the same 5 words.
Truly. Honestly. Which is why that story is, like, a main factor in why we named the podcast Honestly. Because we seldom don't start a sentence with the word all caps honestly.
Or finish it with honestly.
Yeah, or both.
Yes, we were talking about this not that long ago, but there was a period of time where I would text Zoe and I'd be like, TBH, blah, 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 I'm being honest, and then I'd finish it with honestly. Like, I'd say a variation of the word honest 3 times in one text, and it's like, I think she gets it.
She's being honest.
It's like, if you have to say honest that much, you're probably not being honest, but...
Oh, I love it. I love everything about it.
It's truly delightful. I'm just trying to keep us on track with these questions, because I feel like we could spend 8 hours just, like, going back and forth
of, like,
with
funny things.
Funny stories.
Yeah, we could.
But I think those are really some of the key ones.
I think so, too.
Like, those are really near and dear to my heart. So, what has your friendship meant to each of you?
This is I'm gonna start crying. This
is
one of those questions where
I'm
like,
now it's not the time.
I always cry.
I literally always cry.
I'm crying right now. Truly. Same.
Honestly, me.
How do you, like, it's hard to put into words. Do you know?
How wonderful I am.
Yeah, it is. I remember trying to talk about this in another episode we did, and I was like, even when you're annoying. But I was talking about myself being annoying, and Logan's still a good friend, even when I'm annoying.
But the way that she worded it made it sound like she was talking about, even when I'm being annoying, I'm still a good friend. And I was
you're like, okay, work.
I was like,
That's
true, but
fine.
also, that's hurtful.
I think, how do you just, like, sum it up in, like, a nice point?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm terrible at summarizing.
I would say it's been fine.
It's been okay.
No, it's been good to, like, know that there's always someone that you can go and be like, hey, here's all the terrible things that happen, but here's all the hilarious things that happen that are very niche, funny, that no one else will understand if I tell them. It's nice.
I think
it's lovely.
I feel the same way. Like, there are very few people where, like, who I can be, like, 100% myself around, and I feel like Zoe is one of those people where I'm just like, yes, I can be, like, my weird, like, niche self. And, like, last night, for example, I couldn't sleep until, like, 3:30 in the morning. Who else was awake at that time? Zoe was. So I just got to, like, text her for a while, and it helped me from not having a complete anxiety attack.
Yeah. No, it's hard to even, like, to summarize everything.
Yeah.
Just, like, it not to sound like one of those, like, cheesy, like, Tumblr posts again. But you know when it's, like, friendship is when you hang out with someone and, like, you don't have to do anything? That's, like, our entire friendship. Literally. It's just, like, we're just gonna sit in this room together. Yeah. And maybe talk a couple of times. Yeah. But it's just good to be together. I'm doing, like, an interpretive dance as I love speak. That.
Yeah. No, I feel like, again, just being able to have, like, comfortable silences with somebody, that's another indication that it's, like, chill. I don't know. This friendship means a lot to me. Yeah. We've been friends for, like I said, almost 10 years. Like, if it didn't mean a lot to me, I wouldn't still be involved.
You'd be like, speaking of which,
I just think, like, we have seen each other go through, like, so many different phases and, like, high points and low points. And, you know, you're one of the few constants that's been there. So it means a lot to me.
We're gonna just hug over the microphone.
Air hug.
We're too far away to hug. Over hands, over the mic. Yeah. But what was I gonna say, too? And it's just, like, a friendship that has stayed, like you said, a constant. Because there's times where I was like, we're not gonna be friends anymore. Like, because of university.
I mean, like, yeah, and, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, we hit, like, there were some, like, trying times.
There were.
Lines, vines, and trying times. I love the Jonas Brothers. Like, there were some rough times, but I think that's also a testament to our friendship, is that we were able to move past that, and I think it made our friendship stronger than it was in the beginning, so.
And I think it's important, like, now, we're both very, like, open with, like, mental health stuff, I think, and a lot of the problems that we were having in, like, university, because both of us were going through so much stuff, but we're like, no, we won't talk about this with each other, instead we'll just ignore each other and make it seem like we don't like each other.
Basically.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was, like, me, because Zoe stayed in the city for university and I moved away, and so I think that was, like, a really good, like, it was a good experience for our friendship to, like, not be together constantly, and like I said, it wasn't great all the time, and, like, there were some, like, rough times, but in the end it just, like, caused us to be like, oh, we need to get better at communicating with each other, because that's, like, when you're not seeing somebody constantly, it's harder to maintain that. And so I think we learned a lot from that period of, like, not, like, being in the same city and not seeing each other constantly. And yeah, I think we've both we figured it out, and, like, we know.
We have it to a craft now.
Like, we know how the other person is, and, like, we both know, like, what we're dealing with and, like, what's going on. And yeah, I just think it's, like, important to be open with each other, because otherwise it just gets, like, messy. Not good. And then somebody's, like, resenting somebody else, or they're just, like, not saying what they're, like, being bothered by, and it just, like,
it turns into a big old mess.
A big old mess.
But we persevered. I remember, just when you're talking about going off, like, moving. Yeah. I remembered the day that you left for university.
Oh my god. I might cry.
Emotions.
No, I'm not. Okay, I remember... No, I'm not. Yeah, Zoe...
If you cry, it's over.
No. Zoe came over to my house. It wasn't the day I moved, but it was like the last day. It was like a day or two before I left. And so Zoe had been over at my house, and she was leaving, and we like said our goodbye, and it was like, oh my god, don't cry! And we like said bye, and like... We were just, like, both crying, and it was, like, we were, like, acting like I was going off to war or something, and, like, we'd never
my husband returned from war?
But it was just, like, so emo, because, like, we had never had to, like, not be apart. Like, I saw you every day for 4 years. Like, that's a long time. And now that's
what we do now. I remember, too, we were, like, the sappiest human beings, as you can see by my crying currently. We made mixtapes.
Oh my god. I forgot about that.
We did that a lot, actually.
There's like
I have all of them in my...
That's so embarrassing. Yeah, no, there was a phase where, like...
We're in love.
We're like, let's make each other mix CDs. Even though it was, like, 2012. Like, we don't need that.
We're behind for time.
Make a playlist. Like, you'll be fine.
Use Spotify.
Spotify wasn't a thing back then.
8 tracks was.
8 tracks, yes. That was the vibe back in 2012.
Yeah, but I remember the Golden Girls theme song was on. I remember driving home from your house, and the Golden Girls theme song came on, and I was like...
yeah, there was like a period of time where like Golden Girls was like
that was another thing that was a bonding. Like, James weird. Franco, Glee, and Golden. Who are we?
We were very strange teenagers.
And that's why we were drawn to each other.
It's kind of true. Like the like niche interests that we have and had at that point. It's kind of amazing that like they lined up and we were able to like become friends.
Yeah,
truly, truly amazing. So kind of on that, not really, but
make it a segue. I believe in you.
What is it like to podcast together? It's like hanging out with my best friend.
Yeah, that's really, there's just a microphone in between us.
Yeah, I that's why I like what we do on the podcast. Like, we just talk about pop culture and current events and political stuff occasionally, and like basically anything we want to talk about. And it's just like we're having a conversation.
No, like we would literally be having this conversation anyways, like any conversation on the show that we... On the show?
We're so professional.
Big yikes. But on our podcast, we would just be having those conversations anyway, but we're just like, let's include other people into our nonsense.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, is it self-centered to start a podcast?
Probably.
Where you're, like, just giving, like, your unsolicited opinions on things?
Probably. But we're doing it anyways.
That's what we're here for. Yeah. I always love, like, because, like, we record at Zoe's house, and, like, I'll come over after work, and, like, we always just, like, sit in her room for a while, and we just, like, we, like, debrief on, like, everything that's going on that we can't talk about on the podcast.
Honestly, it's like, we sit in my room, and we're like, how was work? Oh, it's good. Yeah. This is what happened. I hate this person. Oh, this person did this. Want to hear something dramatic that this person did? And then it's like, today in the world.
Like, we just spent, like, an hour, like, shit-talking, like, everyone, not everyone, but, like, we just, like, rant about, like, all the bad things that are going on, and, like, all the people that are annoying us, and then it's like, we come on the podcast, and we're like, so,
let's be
the latest in news.
That makes it sound like we're, like, really professional in our podcasting. We're not at all. We're like, today.
Today on Honestly.
Get the like late night news.
What if we did that? That'd be so funny.
We're changing brand.
Let's change our entire concept. Yeah, so I don't know. That's who we are. That's our podcast.
That is.
That's our friendship.
It is.
You can, if you want to follow our little passion project, which is Honestly a Podcast, you can do that. We are on various social media platforms. We are on Twitter and Instagram at HonestlyPod, and we are on Facebook at facebook.com/honestlypod.
Facebook should really get in with the @ thing. Come on, guys.
Get it together. Facebook is just... I hate Facebook. I wish we didn't have to have it.
But you gotta. For Instagram.
For a business Instagram. Business. Okay.
We also get sidetracked all the time, and that somehow we find our way back.
Maybe, sometimes. We have an email address.
We do.
I'm not going to mess it up this time. When we were recording last week, I got it wrong. It's thehonestlypodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
And we have a website.
We do.
Yeah, you heard me.
A website.
Which is thehonestlypodcast.wixsite.com/home.
Don't forget the /home.
We tell people that every goddamn
week. It
week.
will literally lead you nowhere.
Yeah, Wixsite's weird that way.
It is. It's because we don't have money
to
buy a domain.
The only things that money has gone into has been our various microphones, our SoundCloud Premium subscription, and the merchandise that we've bought for ourselves.
And the artwork.
And the artwork, which we love. Other than that, we've been keeping the costs minimal.
Yep.
Because we do not have a sponsor yet.
Someone.
Anyone?
Out there.
Yeah. Somewhere out there.
Anyways.
We also have personal accounts that you could follow.
Oh, we do!
If you wanted to. If you're like, I don't care for that Logan person, but Zoe seems pretty cool. You could do that.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
I know.
Or vice versa, I guess.
Zoe, where can people find you?
Twitter and Instagram @Zoe the Hermit.
Yeah, Zoe's got that branding down. Sorry, I need to double check what some of my usernames are. I'm on Twitter @Logan.ks. No, I'm on Instagram @Logan.ks. See, I don't know where I am and what I am.
I don't know where I am.
Logan. And I'm on Twitter @LoganKSMTH because my full name was taken, so I had to get rid of the I in my last name.
Just being fancy.
I just, like to be a little different. Keep people guessing.
I hope you enjoyed us talking about our friendship.
It was a lot of fun to reminisce on the golden days of our friendship.
It's ending now. Anyways, I love you dearly.
I love you dearly.
Is that it?
That's all.
Bye!